Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, and welcome back to Project Ricky. This is day one. We're going to start to tear down the front. With no further ado, let's get on with it. Let's go. Okay, right, we're back. We've had a couple of days at work and now I've taken a day's annual leave today. Yeah, going to get on with this now. We've done a bit of work on the red one. I've done a little bit of work just finishing off on the white one, which someone is coming tomorrow to look at that. I put it on a mum's group. I don't know if, you would have seen the final video on that. I put it on a mum's group and I had 7 people within half an hour send me messages and say they're interested. The first one is someone who bought one off me before, and she wants another one for her daughter, so it's a nice cheap one, £2.5 grand, and she's coming late tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, hopefully that will go tomorrow. Done a little bit of work on the red one, and now we're going to crack on with this one. So paint I ordered when I was at work yesterday having my lunch break. I ordered the paint, and it's just arrived from DPD. So I bought 3 cans of paint, or was it 2? Can't remember now. I think it was 2. Did I get 3? Can't remember. So either 2 or 3 cans of paint and 2 or 3 cans of lacquer and some tack rags, tack cloths, tack rags, whatever you like to call them. So we're going to wait for better weather to do this. We'll probably do it next week. I've got another day's annual leave next week. If we get a decent bit of weather, I'll get that painted on that day. I might get it prepped in the meantime, at least get it sanded down. Probably won't. I might even prime it if I get the opportunity. But today we are going to attack the front, get that front panel off. I've got a front panel, as I told you. There it is, it's a bit on the dirty side, with a decent radiator. It is off of a pop, so it's got a pop fan, so we're going to have to swap the fans over. Not particularly an issue. We'll obviously take this one out. Let me just get this up in the air. Bear with me a sec. Yeah, so obviously what we'll do is we'll loosen the front panel off, and then we'll take the fan off, and then before we put the new one on, we'll just sort of, might as well unplug the fan, take the fan out and put it back on, and then we can put the whole thing on in one go. It's a lot easier putting the whole thing on in one go. So although we don't actually know at this stage whether the radiator is broken or not, it might be all right. We might not need to use the radiator. So if the radiator is okay, we'll keep it. I think there's fluid in it, but we know the aircon rad has gone back, condenser has gone back. It depends on whether it's damaged the radiator or not. We'll have a look. If we don't need to change it, then I won't. But obviously front panel needs. I might have possibly been able to get away with that front panel, but I'm not going to. For what it's worth, I might as well just change the damn thing. So I'm going to set you up on time lapse, and we'll get this off, and then we'll have a proper look underneath. You've already seen under the bumper. The bumper's only on temporarily, of course. But yeah, we'll get the front panel off, inspect the radiator, and then we'll make a decision as to whether we need to get rid of it or not. Obviously, we need to do the same as we did with the red car. Need to make sure there's no gas in. I think the gas has probably gone, like the other one was. When I released the bolt on the other one, there was no gas whatsoever. Just a tiny bit of green dye came out, but no gas whatsoever. If this is the same, then we can take it off. If it's not the same, then we'll have to make a call to the mobile aircon guy and get him to come and suck the gas out for me. And then both of these cars, we need to take it to him later at another time to get it regassed. So yeah, let's set you up and we'll get the front off. as you saw, it was a bit of a job getting that out. It was just that I thought the radiator was dislodged that side as well, but it wasn't. So I released the front panel, and then of course I couldn't get it off. As you can see from that radiator is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's not been touched. So I actually think that front panel that I've just taken off is probably okay. So I'm not going to throw that away. I'm going to keep that. I reckon. I'm not going to put it on this car, but I reckon in future I can use that. You know, I don't reckon that's apart from obviously the top bit up there. Apart from that, it's absolutely fine. I think there might be a couple of little creases in it, but look, as you can see there, I think that's probably just where the fans hit that, or is that meant to be like that? I'm not sure, but that's barely I don't think it's actually even touched it, to be honest. As you can see, it's absolutely pouring rain all of a sudden, which is great. I have got the gazebo, which I could put up, but hopefully this is just a bit of a shower. I don't think it's a permanent thing, so we'll just have to get wet for the time being. Yeah, so radiator is absolutely fine, so that saves me money. And that obviously means I've now got a nice spare radiator, so I'll take that radiator off of there, and then we can use that on a future project, so that will save us some money. And obviously we've got a spare fan. If we do a pop that we need a fan, we've got a spare one. So all I'm going to use on that is just the front panel, so that's good. So we do need a AC condenser, which I've got a brand new one. I'll have to get another one because I need one on the red car as well. Excuse the voice next door, it's my neighbour, very loud on the phone. Yeah, so we've got everything we need. I think it stopped raining. We've got everything we need, so I think what we'll do, I'll set you back up. I'll get that radiator off first, off of the new one. I'll set you back up, and then we'll get the new one put on. I am still recording in time lapse, but I just thought I'd just cut in here and show you. That's all. The radiator's all on, into the pegs, put on at the bottom. This front panel came with a horn, so I've just kept that one, taken the wire off from the one that was on there. I haven't got the aircon on yet, but we won't worry about that in a moment. We'll get that on afterwards. It's still raining, and as you can see, I've just put it on a block of wood on the jack to line the holes up. And hopefully the bottom ones will be lined up as well. Yep. And obviously that side. Now it is quite imperative that you get it straight, of course, so I always try and jack it in the middle with a bit of wood just to spread the load a little bit. And you know, there is an element of what's the word, approximation, is that the right word? You know, if you get the holes in the center, sorry about that, battery's run out. Yeah, so it is a bit of approximation, but you know, it's a good starting point. If you get the holes in the middle, if you find it's a bit too low once you start shutting the bonnet and what have you with the bumper on and the lights in, then you can always take it off. You know, we do lots of test fits. Sometimes it's spot on straight away, sometimes not. We just try and get it as best as we can, and then if we have to adjust it afterwards, we can always do that up or down. But yeah, that's a good starting point. I always used to push them right up to the top. I don't know why, but that seemed to be at some point in the past the best way. But now I do them in the middle, which allows for a bit of up and down should you need to. So yeah, still on time lapse anyway. I've got my phone covered with a cloth because it is absolutely throwing it down with rain. I should have put the gazebo up really. I was hoping it'd just be a shower. It does look like it might stop actually. So it looks fairly bright. So we'll carry on anyway. We're getting wet. I've got wet knees because I'm kneeling down on. Oh, I've got a mat, but of course that's soaking wet, so I'm kneeling on a wet mat. Never mind. Yeah, we'll get the bars on, get the bolts in, and then that'll be that bit done. We can then take the jack away. Right, let's crack on. Right, I don't know when I just went to turn the camera off on time lapse and it was off, so I don't know how much of that, if any of it recorded. So I won't know that until I put the video together later. But as I said on the previous bit, of course I needed to get the air conditioning condenser on as well. Obviously you can't really do that properly when you've got the bars on, so I put that on first. So that's all on and plumbed in, and then I put the bars on, as you can see. All went on nicely. So what I was saying about the getting it in the right position, getting it like in the middle, when I put the bottom, I think this is quite important. When you get it on the bottom, when you put the bottom bar on, put the bolts in loosely, and then when you tighten the first one up, push the end of it as high as it will go, and then go over to the opposite corner and do the same. Because sometimes when you get problems with the wings lining up with the bumper and you get that gap, sometimes that's because it's not sliding underneath properly. So if you don't get that high enough, the bumper will hit it, and to get it under, you sort of bend it, which then sort of pulls it down. So that is a top tip, and I discovered that quite some time ago, and I always do it like that now, and it seems to help. Having said that, you never know, I'll get the bumper on and it won't fit properly, but we live in hope. Now, wings are not being replaced on this, wings are not damaged, so it should all fit nicely. It should. If it doesn't, then it's more likely that the panel, the whole thing, needs to move up or down. But that gives you more of half a chance. I've done that so many times. The way I figured it out before was, whatever I did, I was going up and down with the panel, could not get rid of that gap, and it was similar to this, where there was no damage to the wings, and I just couldn't get rid of it. And in the end, what I did, and I can't remember why I did it, was I took that bar off, and it all slipped on perfectly. And then, so it had to be that. And I think I was just trying to narrow it down to try and figure out what it was. First of all, I thought it was the foam bit on there that wasn't allowing the bumper to go in properly. And I think I take that off first, and it was exactly the same. Put it back, took that one off, and it was fine. So that is a top tip. Just raise it up. So the holes for the actual main bolts are in the right place. It's just where that sits, because it's held on by those 10mm nuts as well. So as long as you pushed it to the top, do the bolts up, it should hopefully be high enough to slip underneath, because it's not imperative where that goes as far as you know, up and down, but to get the bumper to slip underneath nicely, it needs to be up high. Top tip for the day. It's still pouring with rain, or has it actually eased off a bit? I think it might have eased off actually. I was just going to abandon this because my trousers are soaking wet and it's not very pleasant, but I think what I'm going to do now, I'm just deciding on this car. So I've actually got 2 sets of new headlights, or second-hand headlights. So I think what I might actually do is use the new ones on here. So these headlights are going to be okay, they just need fixing. But to speed things up, I might as well just use the new ones for the time being. I say new, second-hand. I got them in a box down there. I bought them ages ago, not even taking them out of the box. So I'll use those just to get that on, get it protected from the weather, which it's not been for the last hour. So yeah, so I'm going to put those lights in. And then, what can we do then? I suppose, although if only we had a bumper in colour, we could get this bloody car finished this morning, or today. But due to the bumper having to be painted, that's not going to happen. But at least we can get it on temporarily anyway. And then having the lights in will stop the water getting in. So I'm going to top up the water bottle, the washer bottle, because it is empty. I'm going to top that up, just to make sure there's no leaks. If you remember, which car was it? Was it the Abarth? Can't remember now. There was a car that it was ready to go, and I thought, oh, I better fill the washer bottle up. Filled it up, and it was pouring out. Can't remember which car it was now. I think it was the Abarth actually, yeah. And I had to drop the front of the bumper down to get it out and sort it out, didn't I? That's right, because it was they were a different shape, aren't they, on the Abarths, stupidly. So yeah, it was the Abarth. So yeah, better to do that when the bumper's off, of course. We are going to need to take the wing linings out, I think, or at least pull them back, because we've got to sort out, we've got bolts in there that are just spinning, so they've used nuts and bolts. So I've never had any luck with my riv nut tool, but I might try it again, or if not, I'm going to buy another one. And I'd rather put riv nuts in, because I think without a doubt this is a new wing, without a doubt. Possibly the other one as well. So this has had work done on it in the past. We sort of gathered that by that gap, which is just a little bit on the large side. Not overly, but it is just a little bit on the large side. So well, we have to assume it's all going to fit properly. Let's hope so. What we haven't got, and I should have spare ones knocking around, is the clip for this. It's missing. That's another giveaway that it's a new wing. They obviously took off, forgot to take it off of the old wing when they put it in. So all going swimmingly so far. So I wanted to hopefully be able to message the lady who wants this car and say to her, look, you can, you know, it's not going to be ready because of the bumper, but if you wanted to come and have a look, you can, just to make a decision. So let's stop talking. Let's get on with it. I'm just going to do these few bits and pieces. I'm just going to do the top bolts up as well because I haven't done those up yet. And then we'll sort these lights out, and yeah, we'll come back. Right, we've got new headlights in. It started raining again, unfortunately. Yeah, new headlights in. That headlight did have this bracket missing. So luckily I had I've got several bits and pieces of brackets and a couple of full sets, so I was able to fit a new bracket on. I've also adjusted the bonnet as well. Even though it's raining, I thought, you know what, let's just give it an adjustment. So the gap was quite big, wasn't it? It's much better now. It's much more equal. Might give it a bit more of a tweak. This side we had to bounce a little bit of wood on the back of the hinge. This side still needs a little bit of a tweak, but it's much better. And I thought what I'd do is, you don't know for certain until such time as it shuts on the bumper, so it might need a bit of further adjustment. So especially as it's raining, I didn't want to go mad. Once we get the bumper on properly, once it's painted and what have you, then we can adjust it again if necessary. But I'm really happy with the progress today. We're sort of ready. If we had a bumper, it could now go on. We're ready for it, and then we could continue with the inside, cleaning up the inside and so on. Need to go through it round and check the brakes. As I say, it was only MOT'd in January. It's only March now, so yeah, a couple of months ago. So it's still got 10 months MOT. I don't think there was any mention of, no, there wasn't any mention of brakes or anything, so they're going to have been okay. I'm waiting for the logbook to come. So this took just over a week for Copart to deliver it. The day that I won it, or the day that I paid for it, I sent off for the logbook. I've sent the V62 off, so that'll be 2 weeks tomorrow that I sent the V62 off. So hopefully I should get it back soon. Normally it takes about 3 weeks when it's a Cat N. Yeah, hopefully. And I know a lot of people don't do that, but that's the only way to be able to track the service history, because you need to see where the MOTs were done. And we've got no service history at all with this one. So I know it puts another owner on, but I prefer to do it that way, so that way I can stamp up a book, I can call people that did the MOTs, and I was going to say more often than not, quite often, they've done a service as well. So yeah, it's this was a Fiat fleet car, so I would have expected to have had lots of services. Whether I'll be able to track that down, I will try. Obviously, that will come later on. We don't need to worry about it at the moment. So I think we're going to have to turn it in now, because the weather is just horrible. It's just pissing with rain. I don't think, if it stops, I'll come back out. I'd like to try and start on the inside, actually, because I can't do any more on the bumper. So I'm going to whack the bumper on. At least we're now protected from the rain as far as the headlights are concerned. Actually, do those bulbs work? Yes, they do. That's good. Well, indicators do anyway. Obviously we'll check before we put the bumper on everything. We'll check to make sure the headlights all work as well, because it's easier to take the light out and put a bulb in than it is to do it in there. So we still need a DRL, I believe. We've got one, haven't we? I have got DRLs, I think I have. We've got one in the bumper, and we've got the other one that can repair. So yeah, so we should be all right, I think. So that's it for the time being. So hopefully I can come back this afternoon if it stops raining for long enough, and we can carry on. But yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so today we are going to try and do this. We're going to do this bumper. So there's the old bumper, which I have decided, I said in the previous video that I was going to dump, but I'm actually not. I'm going to practice, because we got all those splits in it, but I am going to practice plastic welding. We've got another crack down there which I hadn't noticed before, but it isn't. Oh, and another one here as well. But I'm going to give it a go, you know. It'll probably be crap and I'll end up throwing it away, but I'm going to try it. Not now, when I get a chance. Maybe later on in the year, we'll see, when I'm between cars or something. Not that I'm ever between cars, but yeah, I'm going to give it a go. It'll be good practice to try. It is quite extreme, but we'll see how we can get it out. And what we'll do is we'll try and do the repair with the I'll get some plastic filler. I don't think I've got any plastic filler, so we'll get some plastic filler once we've done that. Once we've done the cracks with the staples. we'll get a bit of plastic filler on it, maybe some dolphin glaze potentially, and we'll just paint the bits that we need to paint in this colour. And I could either sell it or keep it for another sport if it comes out okay. We'll see. But that's yeah. Oh, tripping over a pot. Future video. But today, as you can see, it's been raining. They give rain for today, so it's not the ideal day for painting. I can't see me getting it done today because it's also slightly windy at the moment, but it's going to get windier. So not ideal. I can't really get the gazebo up because it's going to be windy later. I'm going to do what I can. Sun's out at the moment, as you can see. So I've got to get that sticker off. I've put some auto gleam tire remover stuff on there, which is good for getting sticky bits off rather, not on. Just waiting for that to soak in a little bit, and we'll scrape it off. Yeah, get it sanded down by hand, get it primed, and then we'll assess the weather once the primer's done. And obviously we'll leave the primer for an hour or half an hour. We'll block that down, and then we'll assess the weather. See, the wind's coming up now. As you can see, oh, it's just stopped. The washing line was spinning round. So not the ideal weather for painting. But obviously being wet, there's going to be no dust flying around, which is always good. And as it is only March, of course, there's not much in the way of insects around, so no insects to stick to the lacquer. So every cloud and all that, let's get on with it. I'm going to set you up. Actually, I won't set you. I was going to set you up on time lapse, but we'll come back in at each stage and show you. And then hopefully, by the end of the day, but certainly in this video, we'll have this bumper done. And then tomorrow, or whenever, the following day, we can polish it and get it on the car. Let's go. Right, it's all rubbed down nicely. It's taken me ages. It took me about an hour. It's taken me about an hour by hand. I can't find the electric one, so all of the little scratches in there have all been sanded out. The deep scratches. I've just hosed it down just to wash all the dust off. I'm just going to let it dry for a little while. I'll probably get the heat gun on it, although the wind on its own is probably going to do that job. A little deep scratch there, which you can just about feel, but I might go over that again. Yeah, nice. Fiddly, these sport bumpers. There's a lot more fiddly bits, squiddly bits in there, and in there than there are on the ordinary bumper. But yeah, so it's once it's all dried off, and I'll put panel wipe over it, and then we'll get some primer on it. Really windy, not ideal. It's not windy all the time, but it's sort of gusting. So I'm hoping what happened before doesn't happen, where I'm gonna stash it to the ladder, and I'm hoping that it doesn't. The ladder doesn't blow over like it did on a car once before. I can't remember which one it was now, but yeah, that was a bit of a disaster. I think it was on my sister-in-law's black one, which I did in mid-winter. But yeah, I might try and tie the ladder down to the shed or something like that, just to stop it from blowing over. I know this isn't the ideal weather for doing this, windy and potentially rain as well, although it's still sunny at the moment. We'll see. Obviously I don't want to ruin it, but I want to get it done. So yeah, we'll come back once we're in primer. Look at the state of it. I put the gazebo up in the garden, and all of a sudden, absolutely torrential rain, gale force winds, and it's ruined it, absolutely ruined it. I didn't do the sides because they were getting a little bit speckled, so I thought I'll just start doing it in the middle, and then the gazebo blew over. Even though I tied it down, it blew on its side, so absolutely ruined it. So I've had to abandon it. It's brightened up again now. It's still standing, just. I had it tied to the clothesline, but you can probably hear the wind on the microphone. That's nothing compared to what we did have. So I've just ruined it. I'm trying to get it done and I've ruined it. I know it wasn't the ideal weather for doing it. I'm just so pissed off. Jesus Christ. So yeah, bollocks. Well, welcome back again. After that fiasco on Thursday of that awful weather, today I haven't done anything since to the car, but we've actually got a nice sunny day. It's warm. I'm even in a t-shirt, and there's screaming kids in the gardens behind, and yeah, I decided to come out and just do a little bit of cleaning on the inside. Let me just show you what I've done, which I've just done a separate video for, which has probably been uploaded before this one. So I was asked by somebody to do a video on how to get out the The air vents. So I've just done one, and that will be uploaded. I'll link to it here in case you want to see it. I've done it loads and loads of times as part of videos, but never done a specific video for it. So if you're interested in how to do that, then click on the link, as I'd say I've just put above, and I'll also put it in the description of this video. So as usual, I've fitted that cable to make it a bit of a neater install on the stereo. I've taken the tray out. There might be a way of doing it without doing that with a tray, but I certainly couldn't you can't get your arm up there far enough, unfortunately. You could probably do it. There probably is a way of doing it. You could probably do it with like a wire, you know, the things that you push and pull wires with. You could probably do it with one of those, but I always just prefer to take that out. Now the only thing with this one, I think, and I'm not really going to be sure until I get it in, I don't think this is quite as long as the other one. It's not. Look, it's not long enough, which is a bit of a nuisance, because that still means that that's going to have to somehow, I might have to take this off here, because the other ones, on the Copart ones, are about another 6 inches longer, and it allows you more to be able to stretch it. Now I might be able to pull it through a little bit more, but I won't know until I get the stereo up there. But that is not long enough to slot in there neatly, which is really annoying. The only other thing you could do is, of course, get an extension, but then you lose your USB slots, and it means you've got to buy something extra. So I'm not going to do that. I don't think there's any way around it, unless you can get an extension this end, but of course that's a power bit, isn't it? So you probably could, but I don't know what that's called, that particular, because as you know, these things come in all sorts of different sizes, so the chances of being able to find something to extend it is pretty remote, really. So we'll just do the best we can, but I think I'm probably going to have to feed it in here. Might just about be long enough then, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to let you know what I was doing. I'm going to put all this back together now, and then we'll have a look and see. Actually, I think I'm going to run the cable first before I put it back in. That might be better. Yeah, let's do that. I'll come back and let you know how I get on. Right, I managed to sort of do it. So I've gone in, let me get the torch. So I've gone in behind there, and then what I've done is I've pulled that out, and I've gone under there, run it under there, then under there, and it's sort of going to come out in the middle. And then, so it's not as neat an installation. The only other thing you could do, I suppose, is you could, if you drilled a hole in here, you could feed the other end of the wire in there first and then bring it back out up here. So you could do it that way, but I don't want to start drilling holes in this, or out there actually. You could drill a hole in there and bring it out there. I think if I hadn't done this, you could probably neaten it up by a grommet of some sort. So that is an alternative way of doing it, just because the wire's not quite long enough, which is a bit of a nuisance. I mean, it's not made specifically for this car, of course, but it would be nice if it was a bit longer. Doesn't need to be much. The Copart one is, we'll have to measure them next time and see what the difference is. Have I got a Copart one? No, I haven't got a Copart one at the moment. In fact, I probably won't buy a Copart one anymore, because these are so much cheaper. But that is a bit of annoying, but it's not too bad. It's better than just having it obviously coming over the top there. So yeah, we'll put it all back together now. Right, that's all in there nicely, nice and neat. It's all stuck to the dashboard, nice and securely. Yeah, it's cracking, isn't it? It is cracking. So we've already tried it, but we'll just fire it up again. We are plugged in down here, aren't we? Yep. So yeah, not ideal the way that this plugs in. I would have liked it to have been longer. I am going to get onto the manufacturers or the suppliers and see if they do an extension, because for a couple of quid they might do a power extension lead. Doesn't need to be much. About 6 inches would be enough. That way you could just run it underneath properly, like we do with the Copart. But it's a lovely, neat install, I think, doing that. Doesn't really affect the operation. These does a little bit on the up and down, not very much, but side to side. It's obviously not that side, but I was just comparing them. It does restrict it a little bit on the up and down, but it's not too bad. It's worth it. I think it's a much nicer way of doing it. As I say, if it was my car, I would drill a hole and have it going into the dash. Although, of course, you'd probably drill the hole there, wouldn't you? Which wouldn't look very nice. So, don't know, but I think that's a good compromise doing that. So let's fire it up. We know it's going to work. There is a protective film on here. I did say on the other On the other video I wasn't sure whether there was, but there is. I've got my phone in here, so sorry about that. The battery ran out again on my camera, so it literally took 5 seconds to launch, and it's looking great. Look, I mean, just look at it. It's just fantastic. It's so good. It is good. It's a shame you can't go up and down. That is a shame, and I think you would probably have to remove that for the MOT. Certainly the screen, but hopefully not the base. I think it would be all right with the base. It'd be interesting to see what they said on an MOT. If anyone has done something similar to this, because dash cams and things like that they don't like unless it's up here, out of view, which of course that isn't. Now, I would personally like for it to be able to be on a pivot and be able to come down here, so it covers up the vents a little bit. I would like that. That would be, for me, that would be a better way of installing it. But it looks brilliant. It looks brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. So, £32. Can you believe that is £32? Incredible. Morning. Another miserable day, really. Been raining again. Hasn't really stopped raining very much recently, but that's enough of the weather forecast. We're back on the car again today. Bumper issues. Let me just explain what's going on with the bumper, and I'm going to try and get everything else done on this car today. So literally all that is left is the bumper. So there's not much to do. It's mainly cleaning, really. Inspecting the brakes, maybe cleaning the wheels. I've not cleaned the car yet. If the rain holds off, we'll give it a proper clean, but we'll see. But let's just explain what's going on with the bumper. As you would have seen in earlier on in this video, we made an attempt to get this bumper painted last week, and due to the rain and the wind and lots of swearing by myself, it wasn't done. Since then, I have bought another car, which hasn't arrived yet. It's coming from Rochford, so they're delivering it, so who knows when it's going to turn up. I'm sort of, we've just had the bank holiday weekend, so that obviously delays things a little bit. I'm sort of expecting maybe the end of this week, probably more likely the beginning of next week, which is fine because I'm off today and tomorrow. I'm working Friday, but then I'm off on Monday and Tuesday. So hopefully one of those days it will turn up. Now, let me just quickly show you. That arrived yesterday. No prizes for guessing what's in there. Of course, it is a door. It is a door for the new car that I've bought. Also, what I've bought is I have bought an entire front from a Fiat 500 Sport in this colour, in 735. So that door, I can't remember what it cost me now. It's a complete door, glass, motors, hinges, everything. You name it. It's a complete door. So it's just a bolt-on jobby. Once we take the old one off, that actually came off of the same car that I've bought the whole front for. So that was on there, and I needed a door for the new car. But at that point, I thought I was still going to be painting this. So this is partially in primer, as you can see. Some of it's not, because I abandoned it. So what I'm going to do, it would be silly of me to paint this now in the 735, because I've got a sport bumper in 735 coming, which has a tiny little bit of damage down here. So I will take, sorry, I'm not even pointing to it, down here. So I will take that off, and I'll be able to do that. There might be one or two scratches on it, but we'll get over those. But it's in pretty good condition. Everything on it, I think everything on it. I think there was lights and everything that was on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So what I've got is, so bearing in mind this is a Sport, I've got the Sport bumper with, I believe, everything on it. I've got a bonnet, I've got both wings, I've got a front panel, I've got a radiator, I've got at least one of the bars, possibly both the bars. I have got 2 headlights. I think that's it. And I bought all of that lot for 450 quid. It was £100 delivery because it's coming from way up north. But yeah, 450 quid for the lot. Bearing in mind that bumper on its own, with no trim and no lights and no nothing, is the best part of 250 quid. 230, something like that. All of that, I've got all of that lot for basically 550 quid, and it's coming tomorrow. So that bumper will just be going straight on this car. We'll repair the damage with it while it's on the car, because it's very, very little, and then this car at the front will at long last be finished. Now, what else I bought was a wing, which has already arrived. A wing in this colour. I bought that for this other new project, which is in the exact same colour. However, of course, the front end that I bought includes that as well. So I've now got two 735 passenger wings, or I will have. I've also, for the red car, the red Sport, I bought a passenger wing, because I was going to try and repair it, but I've bought a passenger wing. A driver's wing. I then saw another ad, and the picture showed the passenger side of the car, a red 2014 car, so from the same year. So I bought that wing. Then I noticed after I bought it that it said passenger wing, even though it showed a picture of the driver's side, but when you click on the other pictures, it shows all the pictures of the car all round, because it's a car that's braking. So I've now bought two red passenger wings, one of which I've got. No, I haven't, it's coming today. And then the other one, which is also en route. So I still haven't got a driver's wing, a passenger wing for that one, so I'm still searching. Some of you said, I did get some messages on that car saying that there are loads on eBay now. That yes, there are. However, most of them are new ones, which I don't want because the colour won't match. And the ones that are on there are old ones, like 2008. And with that red, it's a nightmare. So I don't want a 2008. I want a 2013 or 14. More chance of the colour matching. So sorry to talk about two cars in this video, but I just wanted to clear that up. So what we got left to do? Cleaning mainly. Seats don't need. It's locked. Let me just unlock it. Where's the keys? Got the keys here somewhere. Never remember which keys are which. No, that's the other car. There we go. So I've hoovered it. I'm just going to clean the leather, and I'm going to just clean the fabric parts of the seats, because it's not dirty at all, this car. I'll clean the dash, because I did that when I put the beautiful stereo in, or the media centre, whatever you like to call it. Back seats are pretty unused. I don't even think they just need a wipe over. On the leather, I'll just clean the leather on those as well. There's nothing much to do on it. Door cards needed going over. They're a bit grubby, both sides. I think we've hoovered it all in the boot and everything. I'd say the outside of the car hasn't had a wash yet. New number plates we've got to put on. We'll get the wheels off. We'll clean up. We'll have a look at the brakes. Bearing in mind it was only MOT'd a month, or just over a month ago. I think, was it? No, it was a bit longer than that. We do need to get a new tyre, so I might go out tomorrow and get one of those. I'll take the wheel. Actually, I could go out today and get it. Don't know. We'll sort that out one way or the other. Also, I need to get the aircon done on this as well, because obviously it's got a new condenser on it. But once it's all on the road, we'll do that. So it's mainly cleaning, to be honest, and inspecting the brakes, making sure they're okay. I think they will be. Giving them a good clean up, clean the wheels, back and front. And that's about it, really. You know, there's not an awful lot more to do on it. So I think what we'll do is we'll come back in later on when we do we get the wheels off, and I'll show you the brakes and what have you. But I'm not going to film much of today, because it's just, cleaning really. Clean the engine bay and so on, as usual. Again, I can't remember whether I need to service this or not. Haven't tracked the service history down. I might do that later on today, depending on the weather, or leave that till tomorrow. The person who's buying this car, quite eager to get it, but she understands that obviously I've told her about the new bumper and what have you, so she understands that. She wants the cam belt done as well. I did give her the option, so I was trying to bring it in for her at 3,600, and I said to her, look, I'll give you the option, 3,600. I'll try and get it in for 3,600, which I am cutting my throat a little bit, but I do owe her, or 3,800 with the cam belt done. Oh, that reminds me. She said, no, can you get the cam belt done? So I did send a message to Glenn, the mechanic, on Saturday. Today's Wednesday. I haven't heard back from him, actually, so I think he's probably forgotten about me, so I need to, just to get him booked in, so I'll text him in a minute. So yeah, cam belt will be done before it's gone as well. So within the next couple of weeks, it should be finished, really. I am going to go back on the red car today. So anyway, I've been waffling enough now. Hopefully I've given you some useful information that you wanted, rather than me just waffling. So I'll see you in a bit when we have a look at the brakes and so on. We'll be back. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, I think we came to the conclusion that when I first got this, we looked at it, and I think we came to the conclusion that it didn't need servicing. We'll have another look at that, but I just had a look at the air filter, and that looks pretty new, doesn't it? That don't need changing. There's no point changing that. It's pretty clean, isn't it? Yeah, it's virtually spotless. That would be a complete waste of money changing that. Completely pointless. Yeah, so I had to take this off anyway because we've got that's broken, so I need to glue and screw that back on. So I'll do that now, and I'll just leave the glue to go off. I put a screw through it and then super glue it as well, or resin it, one or the other. Yeah, so let's put all that back together, and then we'll get that other thing clear. We'll give it a wipe over while we're here as well, because we always do the engine bay, of course, and it's a lot easier to clean that properly once it's out. Right, here's the brakes, and yeah, they're virtually new, those pads, if you can see in there, virtually new. These don't look that old either, and there's no lip on them. I'll give them a good clean up. It's even got some copper grease around that, which of course you shouldn't put around there, should be around there, but they've spread it around there as well. Shocks look okay, there's no leaks or anything on the shocks, and I've looked at the joints on the that's new, that's been replaced. I can't remember what the MOT history says now, I'll check on that, but that's definitely been done. I think it did say it had been done. So what I'm going to do is just going to clean all that up, and then we'll clean up the wheel as well. We'll take the back. I've got the back wheel off the ground as well, so I'll just stick an axle stand underneath, and I'll just protect it, and I'll also get the back wheel off as well, and so we can do both back and front at the same time. Yeah, that's good. And we'll jet wash in here as well, and we'll jet wash in the back. Yeah, be all nice and clean once finished, and then we'll go around the other side and we'll do the other side as well. But yeah, that's good. Brakes haven't got to be done. Always a bonus. Right, okay. Unfortunately, it's just starting to rain again. It had turned into a half decent day, but yeah, I was expecting the rain. So what I've discovered is both front tyres need replacing. I could have sworn maybe I've got confused between the red car and this car, but I could have sworn that this only needed one tyre. But I am thinking that must be the other one. So this one actually needs 3 tyres, both fronts and that one. That one is bald on the inside and the outside. These are bald. That one's bald on the outside, and the other one's bald on the inside and the outside as well. So they are well worn. Now, bearing in mind I'm trying to bring this in on budget for the lady, this is going to mess me right up. So I was prepared for 1 tyre. I can probably get a discount if I buy 2 tyres. I don't want to fork out for 3 tyres. So what I'm going to do, I think, I'm going to have a look when it stops raining at the other Sport, see what the condition of the wheels are, and I might actually swap them over. And I have actually got in the back garden, I have actually got 3 of these wheels. I've got a feeling they're not very good in the wheel itself department. And I was saving the ropey ones to get them at some point refurbished. And I think I've got 3. But in fact, I'm going to go and have a look now. Let's go and have a look at the other Sport and see what we got, what the condition of the tyres is. Because what my thoughts are is not so much for these front ones, but it's for that back one, so I only have to buy 2 tyres. I'm trying to keep the budget down. If I was selling it to anyone else and I would be charging more money, then I'd just probably replace all 4, to be honest, like I've done on one of the cars before. But that was budget tyres. No, they weren't budget tyres. No, it was, sorry, yeah. It was one of the cars recently. I think it might have been the Abarth. I put 2 Avons on because there wasn't much difference in the price of the Avons to budget tyres. So, yeah, not sure now what I'm going to do. Well, let's go and have a look at the red car and see what the tyres are like on that one. Looking at this one, I've just had a look round at all the tyres, and the best one is, funnily enough, the one which is in the same position, and it's all right. It is a budget tyre, I think, but it's a very, very good tyre. So I think we'll do that. We'll swap that over because we're going to have to get some tyres on this car anyway, and I might end up just replacing all 4. Although I'm spending more money on this car, I did get it for a lot less, didn't I? So it might be worth doing it. We'll see, but yeah, that's definitely worth swapping. That means I don't have to get 3 tyres on the other car, just the 2. If I can get them cheap enough, you know, if I'm ended up getting it for 20 quid, which is extremely unlikely, then I'll do that. But otherwise, yeah, we'll swap them. So I think we're going to have to turn it in for the time being. So I've done a reasonable amount. So we've cleaned all the wheel arches, are all jet washed and all nice and clean. The brakes have been cleaned, the brakes have all been inspected, they're all good, both sides. We've fitted a riv nut onto here. I've never had much luck with riv nuts before, but there was a nut and bolt on there. I've taken the arch liner down, got the nut and bolt out, and I've done my first successful riv nut. I think I did actually break my riv nut gun thing in the process, so I'm going to buy a better one. But yeah, that's good. Right, that's that. So I'm going to just whack the bumper back on for the time being. If it stops raining, hopefully it will. I think it's only a shower. We'll try and get this cleaned this afternoon. I did spot, I'm not going to show you it now, because of the rain, you won't be able to see it properly, but I did spot a couple of scratches on the roof. So I want to try and get those filled in as well. Obviously I can't do that when it's raining for obvious reasons. Right, so yeah, just going to get the bumper back on for now, and then we'll leave it and we'll come back later, hopefully when it stops raining. Right, so we're actually done on this for the time being. Despite what you can see in the way of sun at the moment, it's another on-off rainy day today, so I don't want to do those scratches on the roof. I'll do those next week. I'm still waiting for the bumper and all the other stuff to turn up. It hasn't turned up yet. Haven't received any tracking information like I did with the door, unfortunately. Hopefully it is still going to come today. I swapped the wheel over from the red car, so we've got a decent tyre on the back, and I've booked new tyres for the front on next Tuesday, and the cam belt is being done on Wednesday. So as long as that bumper turns up, this will be finished sort of midweek next week. Excuse the wind. Yeah. So there's not really, apart from changing the number plates and doing the scratch on the roof, there's not really anything left to do. It's all finished now, apart from a final clean, of course, on the outside. So I'm going to end this video. We'll have the final video once we get the final bits done. That will be a short video, I imagine. So that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed this particular video. Thanks for watching. Yeah, let me know what you think. Been a relatively painless project so far, apart from the wind and trying to paint that bumper. But assuming that bumper does turn up today, then we all should be good. But anyway, that's it. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, hit that button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and until the next one, as always, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.